So I don't know if that's on already. Okay, it's even on live streaming on YouTube. Right.
Yes, we are on now.
Yeah. So, okay, who do we have? Brother Digun, welcome. Madam Olubukola, welcome. Madam Grace, welcome back. I observed
Good
you
evening, sir.
not earlier. Chief, welcome, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Very fine. And you?
Yes, I'm good, sir.
Well done, bros. Sir is too much. Don't kill the young man.
You know, say you are Ghana.
Okay, Daddy good evening, sir. Who is this hacker in the building? Please don't hack anybody here. Black hat hacker, been a white hat or gray. Which of them are you? So who is still here? We're waiting for. Okay. Okay, we have 8 people now. So once it's 8:10, we would start. But before then, I would want to tell us that this evening session is a bit packed. We have subject experts that would be speaking to us. And two of these selected subjects I've decided to talk about. The first person is going to be speaking to us about programming and stuffs around programming. Then the second person will talk to us later in the day, in the night, about product management. So it's a fully packed evening, and we're expecting that the takeout from here would help improve whatever we're doing at the moment or what we're planning to do. So with this, I want to welcome Mr. Bosun, who is a subject expert, to kickstart the session this evening. Bosun, you can start. The floor is yours. Sorry, it's not the Bosun in my church. It's another Bosun. Bosun, so please. When I call Bosun this evening, I'm not talking to the Shotunde Bosun.
Hallelujah.
Okay, I think somebody was thrown out. Network. Okay, let's allow him come back first. I don't know if there are questions from last week. Last week we dealt on, we spoke about, who can remind us, cybersecurity, right? And that's why somebody came on the chat box to say she greeted us as hackers. And I'm sure that our only takeaway that evening wasn't just hacking. So maybe as we move on, we'll take questions from last week, if there are any. So Mr. Bosun, the floor is yours. I was actually waiting. I observed you were thrown out by network. Hi, boss. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, all right. So please
Right.
go on, sir.
Okay, so I'm trying to share the screen so we can just get started immediately. But however, while I'm trying to do that, let me introduce myself to everyone. Good evening, everybody.
Evening,
Okay,
sir.
so my name is Tubosun Areje. I'm a software developer. So apart from software development, I also do other things like art and craft. So that's in the area of design mindset. So anyway, that's just the brief introduction about me. So I guess you're all seeing my screen right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
All right. So let me just keep trying to um, open up.
Yes, it's up now. It's up.
So what about now?
It's up. It's up. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay right now. Okay.
Mm.
So all right. Few things while we start. So I'm going to use that one as umbrella to talk about what I'm talking about, the future work skill, and I will be aligning it with
I Your network is breaking.
um, either programming, software development, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So likewise, Internet of Things too. So that's that on that. So then the future of education and skills. So I would also like to make this thing be kind of interactive. Time to also ask one or two questions if everybody is able to, relate with whatever is being shared also. So as we move to the next here, so we have 10 skills of the future academic learning. So whatever we are going to be sharing here is also related to work also. So both academic learning and also work life. What is also needed in the marketplace right now and in the future. So I'll be sharing about the 10 skills of the future. So the first one I'm going to be starting with is sense making. Sense making, so which is the number one part. So sense making, you're talking about the ability to determine deeper meaning or significance of what is being expressed. So sometimes based on our reading capability or our wide experience in life, when an information is shared, wherever we find ourselves, we are able to relate with whatever is being shared. So that's on sense making. So whether you are in IT sector, you are in finance, you are in aviation, you are in whatever department you find yourself, either medicine or law, whatever is being shared by anybody in other industry, you are able to relate with whatever is being shared. So that's number one on sense making. Then here we have social intelligence. Out of the 10 skills, social intelligence, the ability to connect to others in a deep. So talking about the social intelligence there,
I don't know if it's my network.
so
You are breaking.
okay. Hello?
Yeah, go on, sir. Go on.
Okay. As I was saying, so talking about social because of the network was breaking in there. So ability to connect to other, to sense and stimulate reactions and desired interaction. In our workplace, it's required to associate and interact with people with us. So ability to socialize in your workplace, to relate with people in a way they can understand you, and also trying to understand what is being shared in a deeper way. So that's on social intelligence. So the next one is on the next one. Let me move to the next slide. So the next one is novel and adaptive thinking. So this is talking about proficiency at thinking and coming up with solutions and responses beyond that which is rote or rule-based. Conversely, job opportunities are increasingly concerned in both high skill, high wage professional, technical and management occupations, and in low skill, low wage occupations such as food service and personal care. Jobs at the high skill end involve abstract tasks, and at low skill end and manual tasks. So what novel and adaptive thinking is talking about is as the world is evolving, the ways and manner of doing things will keep changing with time. So the way it is right now, novel, when you're talking about novel thinking, that's something that is new. It's a new idea, something we weren't used to. About 10 years ago, there was nothing like, or let me just say, maybe 14 years ago, there was nothing like the POS we use right now in Nigeria. So you don't need to go to the bank to go and withdraw money. You can just a stone throw to your house. You can walk to any POS, withdraw money. So that adapting to a new pattern of living. So that's a new idea that wasn't there before. So for instance, Nigeria started POS, the BOS, maybe 12 years ago or 10 years ago. Like Kenya had been using mobile banking. I think they are close to M-Pesa. They call it M-Pesa. So the M-Pesa has been reigning there in Kenya before it's adopted here in Nigeria. So like as I was sharing or as it's been shared that okay, Nigeria is just getting used to it. Every location within Nigeria having POS. You can use that to withdraw money. So another one also that the novel and adaptive thinking already in the US we have the electric cars. So you are able to charge your car. You understand? Maybe for 4 hours you have electric car. It's not powered by fuel. You go and charge your car, and you can begin to drive wherever you want to go, depending on the capability or the timing in which the car can be able to be powered by the battery. So right now we only have few electric cars in Nigeria, and where they can charge it is yet to be um, everywhere the way we have the filling station. But people who have the electric cars, they will find ways in which they can charge their car. So novel and adaptive thinking is something that is with us. It has come to stay. So by tomorrow now, we'll see different technology also coming up. So like having a flying car. So, but of course, evolving and developing this technology and putting in infrastructure to operate these things. Africa would also see how it can also align in time. So maybe let's say in the next 10, 15 years, we would also be getting there. So the next one here is cultural competence. I think this is number 4. So cross-cultural competency, the ability to operate in different cultural settings. So cross-cultural competency will become an important skill for all workers, not just those who have to operate in diverse geographical environment. Organizations increasingly sees diversity. Research now tells us that what makes and innovative is the combination of different age, skills, and working and thinking style that members bring to the table. Yes. One should be able to environment that you are not used to. Probably you were born out area, or some of us have been privileged to travel the way they do business, the way they relate with one another. So that is quite very important. This is a skill that is necessary. And for some of us who perhaps are in the IT industry, some of us perhaps have a remote job where you are working from home. And as you are working from home, perhaps you've gotten an international remote job, probably within Europe or within Africa or maybe within the US. You are working and you're using what is it called? Either your Teams, the Teams meeting that belongs to Microsoft for your meeting, or is it also Google Meet or Zoom, any one of these platforms, or Skype. So these are the avenues in which one can also use to, you know, interrelate and also work from home with other people. So and you are able to fit in and understand what other people in other continents are communicating and whatever it is you are also entrusted with to work with. So apart from also working remotely, it could be that you travel to other continents. Maybe you travel to France or to Europe or Asia. You will also find different people of different race, and the ability to also, interrelate with these people is is a skill that one must have. So the next one here is computational thinking, which is the reason why you and I are here today. So computational thinking, the ability to translate vast amounts of data into abstract concepts and to understand data-based reasoning. As the amount of data that we have at our disposal increases exponentially, many more roles will require computational thinking skills in order to make this information. So I would to this because we are talking about skills and everything that I bit on those information on that. So that's that on computational thinking. So the next one is a new media literacy. So new media literacy is ability to critically assess and develop content that uses new media forms and to leverage these media for persuasive. The next generation of content in forms such as video, able to critically read and assess them in the same way that they currently assess a paper or presentation. So the new media literacy, I also link that up to the digital marketing skills. As if we have any digital somebody who has been organization, you will know that okay, marketing skills, you will need pictorial view, and services you are rendering, you would also need a video. Some of those videos are called B-roll. So B-rolls are 30 seconds video showcasing a particular product and services for managing their social media handles. So about 14 years ago or years back, we don't have getting those skills weren't there as such. About 1750 social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. The need for new media literacy, the skill is very essential in this our age and time. So the next one we'll be talking about is transdisciplinarity. Transdisciplinarity, literacy in an ability to understand concepts across multiple disciplines as extended lifespan, promotes multiple careers, and exposure to more industry and disciplines. It will be particularly important for workers to develop this T-shaped quality. So I will use myself as an example, talking about transdisciplinarity. So for instance, I'm a software developer. I'm also into design mindset. So I know talking about all the 10 skills here, amongst the one we talked about earlier, which is computational thinking. So I have the computational thinking skills. That's one transdisciplinarity. That's one discipline. So when you're talking about transdisciplinarity, that means you have discipline in about 3, 2, or more than 2 discipline. So like I said, I do software development. I also do art and craft, which is design. Some of my designs are novel. So I have strength in these 2 areas. So that's what transdisciplinarity means. So apart from the software and the design that I do, I also do some other things too, which we can also adopt that skill, having more than 2 or 3 skills. We see the way the economy is here in Nigeria, that even when you have one skill, when you have one work that you're doing, that might not be sufficient for your upkeep, for your family, or for whatever activities you want to run financially. So the need for multiple skill, but you have to master one first before you go into the next one. So that on transition. So we move to the next one. So we have design mindset and develop tasks and work processes for desired outcome. As of the future, we need to become adept at recognizing the kind of thinking that is different, that brings different, the kind of thinking that is different. There, that will bring about tasks. That will bring about achieving certain and required to their work environment that enhance their ability to accomplish these tasks. So what you can come up with different designs. Whether you are in what's it called, the medical industry, you are in the IT industry, you are in the aviation industry, whatever industry you belong to, there is always a design standard. In the software industry, there is a design standard. In the medical line, there is a design standard. For instance, you want to operate, you want to do CS for a pregnant woman. There is where the doctor or whoever is working on the patient would actually cut. There is a design, the human body, the way the human body is, there's a way you will do the operation to bring out the child. So if you cut the wrong place, there's going to be a problem. So you have to cut and dissect, do the right thing when the operation is taking place. So when you look at the aviation, also the aviation industry, the aircraft that is flying in the sky, there is a route, there is a design that the pilot will follow through. There is a road design that the pilot must, fly the passenger, fly the aircraft through. If he goes elsewhere outside that route, the aircraft can be blown off in the sky. So every pilot that is flying either locally or internationally, there is a plane route, there is a design. They have to follow that design route. So wherever they are going to. So every industry has their own design. They have design mindset, they have design pattern on what procedure they need to follow. So that's that on design mindset. So the next one here is cognitive load management. So cognitive load management, ability to discriminate and filter information for importance, and to understand how to maximize cognitive functioning using a variety of tools and techniques. Organizations and workers will only be able to turn the massive influx of data on what is important, or also break down the information into series that are understandable. So when you're talking about cognitive load management, is all about understanding your set goal. In your set goal, there are priorities. There are the A, B, C, and D of a particular project. You can't just go to D when you have not done A, and B, or from D, you are now jumping to Z. So you need to understand and filter, okay, this is what we need to do now. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to achieve sequentially. So his ability to understand processes, ability to filter what needs to be done in a project. If you are building a house, you start with the foundation. So this is what the standard is all about. This is what you understand that, okay, foundation needs to be done first before you begin to lay the blocks into the foundation. And as you are, as you're about building a particular structure you have in your design. So that's cognitive load management. You are filtering things, you are doing separation techniques and knowing whatever things you need to, do accordingly, according to processes. So that's that on cognitive load management. So the next one is virtual collaboration, which is, I think, is the second to the last. So virtual collaboration, ability to work productively, drive engagement, and demonstrate presence as a member of a virtual team. As a leader of a virtual team, individuals need to develop strategies for engaging and motivating a dispersed group. We are learning that techniques borrowed from gaming are extremely effective in gaining large virtual communities, ensuring that collaborative platforms include typical gaming features such as immediate feedback, objectives, and a stage series of challenges can significantly drive motivation. I'm sure maybe one or two would have played some of these remote games. You play it on your phone and you're participating in such. So as you can be playing game with somebody in Kenya, in South Africa, or somebody in the US or in the UK. So too, we see what's going on, even what we are doing right now. We are having a meeting here on Zoom where everyone is connected and with information. This is virtual collaboration where everybody can contribute. People that are also working remotely, there's always a virtual meeting, maybe once in a week or once in 2 weeks, where people can collaborate. And these are the skills that are essential for this day and time. To some of these tools, such as Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and so many more tools that one can use to collaborate with anybody, whether locally or internationally. So the next one we'll be talking about is on back-end, front-end development, which back-end developer, front-end developer, and database administrator. So there are much more skills to this also right now. We also have a blockchain developer. We also have artificial intelligence developer, data scientist, data analyst, so much more. So, but like I said, when we're talking about computational thinking, which I'll go back to that slide, so that we'll be able to grasp one or two things as I round up a bit so that there can be room for us to interact. Like I said, I want it to be a, a bit interactive so that we can ask questions and as I begin to round up on the slide. So like I said, computational thinking, I will need to drill down a bit. So computational thinking, when you're talking about computational, for instance, I studied computing with the University of Greenwich. Computational thinking is very essential. So for the computer to process anything, there is a way you need to think as a computational thinker to now give it to the system to process. So that means there are skills, there are logical skills, there are logical thinking and logical thought and logical pattern you would have put together for you to communicate with the computer. So these skills are essential. So when you see developers here and there working in places, it's because they've mastered one or two skills. Without those skills, you won't be able to thrive well as a developer. Secondary school, or you're in university, or you have coding skills or into software development. There are some prerequisites, there are some skills that are essential that one needs to have. Some of those skills, I will just share one of them. You need to have mathematical thinking, like, having math skills. You also need to have discrete mathematics skills. Then you must have logical thinking skills. Then ability to also put in place algorithmic thinking. So some of these skills are essential, but you might not necessarily have these skills, but when you have some of these skills, it gives you an edge better than those who don't have it. So these are some of the prerequisites for computational thinking. So on the last slide, we had seen backend, front end, and that. So right now, there is separation of techniques. There is a way they have actually allotted these roles to individuals. There are some people, they call them full stack developer. So a full stack developer is somebody who has the skills of backend development. He also has the skills of front-end development. He also has the skills of database administrator. So these three encompassing skills are put together to become a to become a full stack developer. So invariably, you can also be a specialist in the backend. You can also be a specialist in the front-end development. You can also specialize being a database administrator. So that's basically it on that area. So I think my colleague is also here. He would also like to share one or two lights in this area, backend development and software development.
Thank you, Bosu. Thank you. So there is another person on the call, and his name is Sahid Mustafa. Like I said last week, most of these guys are friends of the house. This is a church organized program, and Mustafa is a core Muslim. And he picked the interest to say he wants to be part of it and also share his experience with us as a developer. So let's have you, Chief Mustafa Sahid. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Mustafa. I'm a software developer, and I'm happy to be here. Sorry, I'm just joining. We spoke on this presentation, myself and Bosun, and I actually said I would love to, contribute when it gets to the computational thinking. So I believe Bosun has actually explained some things about front end, back end, database admin, and the likes. So what I actually want to say around there is, nowadays we have almost everyone wanting to become a software developer. You see someone that did agricultural sciences who wants to be a software developer. Yes, it's possible because software development actually, it involves logical thinking. You need to be creative if you want to become a software developer. And and at times people actually think different careers, you understand, you can actually delve into while doing software development. So I have friends in the past that started as a software developer, but now they are now an enterprise architect. Some of them started off as a software developer, and some of them are now specialized in database administration. Some started as a software developer, and now they are not really doing the development per se, but they are doing things like project management, IT, and the likes. You understand? So it actually encompasses so many things. But like I said, one of the you need to be able to think deep. You need to be creative with your thinking, because you can't learn everything by watching videos. You can't learn everything in the class. In fact, even in the classes, I attend classes when I started. In the classes, they only introduce you to the basics. You understand? Software development isn't something you just pick up and and just say, okay, yeah, I've done one or two classes and I think I'm good to go. You understand? It involves a whole lot of practice, dedication. You understand? Sleepless nights. If you're the night, is it night crew they call it now? Yeah. So it takes a whole lot of determination, passion. You understand? So for you to be able to stand out as a software developer in this era, you need to put in extra work. We have so many software developers, but for you to stand out now, you need to be able to put extra work, you understand, in what you do. And you need to be very, very creative. So I know Boson has actually explained the different discipline, right? Skill set, yeah. So as a software developer, you can actually choose to become a front-end developer. Nowadays, before now, we normally have just a software developer. If you see so many job roles outside there on LinkedIn, on Jobberman, most of these job sites, you would see they will tell you they need a software developer. There's no separation of concern, like we need a front-end developer, we need a back-end developer. What they just tell you is we need a software developer. So they expect you to be able to be vast in the front end, to also be vast in the back end, and you should know to some extent, you should be able to go a little bit far when in the areas of database administration, you understand? So that's actually a different discipline anyway, but they expect a developer to know all these things, you understand? So, but nowadays, I think developers, because of the agile thinking and the likes, they've brought in back-end development as a discipline. You understand? So you can actually major as a back-end developer, or you major as a front-end developer, or if you so like, you can actually combine both. You understand? And become a full stack developer. So depending on the discipline you actually want to, but I actually advise people that, if you're not very good in arts, like you're not really good with designs. Like myself, I don't really know how to draw right from school days. I'm not really good with art. You understand? So for me to tell myself I want to go into I want to become a front-end developer. Yes, it's possible, but I need to also consider the kind of what's this thing called now? The my natural instinct, like what I'm actually inclined towards. You understand? So what I actually did was I ventured into back-end development. So when I saw that, okay, to some extent, my hands are now strong, a little bit strong in the area of back-end development, I now started bringing in front-end. I started mastering front-end as an addition, because when you know the two, it is higher pay. You understand, for you. So nowadays the discipline has been separated, a separation of concern. You can be a front end, you can be a back end. So examples of front end developers are those guys you hear using Angular developer. You see some people, they will tell you they're an Angular developer. You see React, you see Vue.js, you see Flutter. I think Flutter is very popular. You see Flutter. Then I think there are so many of them out there now. Then for back-end developers, you see Java developer, you see C#, ASP.NET developer. Basically, some people call them C# developer, Node.js, and the likes. You understand? So those separation of concern. So depending on which you want to actually venture in, so you really need to know yourself, to know what you want to do, to know what you're good at. You understand? Before venturing into any of these discipline. I have a friend who is we have software development together, but he's more, he's graphics and what was it called? Um, what's this thing called now? I don't.
UI.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
UI UX design.
Yeah. He does so many crazy things on Fruity Loops back then. So at the end of the day, what he's doing is he's into music now. Like he's more financial applications, engineering applications. What he does mostly is music. So his development is like musical, the word to use. So he has a studio now, and you would see that. In fact, I would say the guy knows more than even these are popular guys that they call themselves.
Okay, I think there's a glitch there. Okay. Said, can you hear us? Okay, so before he comes back, if there are questions, can we just start
Okay, hello,
asking?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Muted. So I was actually saying that, so the moral of everything is want to actually venture into this thing, you need to actually know what you really want to do. Number two, you need to be passionate about what you want to do, because we have so many are extremely good. You understand? So the market now is saturated, and it's a competitive market now. Gone are those days when a software developer puts his CV outside, and within a month or two, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to get a job. You understand? There are 90% assurance that you're going to get a job. But nowadays, because so many people are actually coming into software development, into IT generally, not just software development alone, you understand? So it's kind of the market is saturated now, and it's not business as usual. So if you're already in the system, you understand what I'm saying. But if you're if you're a starter, like you're planning to join, then you need to know what you actually want to do. You understand? And you need to be ready for it fully for you to excel, because, like I said, the market now is very, very saturated. Even in Nigeria, it is saturated, but the opportunity is unlimited. You're not restricted to work in Nigeria alone. You can work anywhere in the world while you're in Nigeria. You understand? So we have friends that have traveled out. We have friends that are still in Nigeria and they are doing great. You understand? So I think I want to wish everyone all the best. I know I have some bosses here, and I think we can use this as a tool. You understand, that would help us to decide. You understand? Because it's me. I normally tell people that it's not meant for everybody, and at the same time, it is meant for everyone. You understand? It's just dedication. It's just your passion and belief. You understand? So I think I will stop here and I'll take it. Ferdinand, I think you can take it from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that we had one or two things to jot down. But if there are questions, let's quickly take the questions first before, because these men are very busy. I had to beg them to, give us a few of their minutes for today. So if you have any question around what both speakers have spoken about, please let's quickly come up with the question. But if there are no questions, we just slide into the next phase of this session. Questions. So you mentioned Java, you mentioned all of the languages. Although, like I said, even before we started these sessions, the IT space is not a space for lazy people. Everybody in IT, it's a very challenging field and it requires you to always step up. Where I was last year is not the same place I am in terms of knowledge. There's always something that will happen on a daily basis that will require you to, either take a course or do some sort of research. So it is important that you stay, abreast with recent happenings as far as IT is concerned. So it's not a field for lazy people. So if you are the type that's always very, you don't like reading, you don't like taking extra, programs, researches, courses, then the IT field is something you have to give another thinking or another thought. So that's just it. Let's take it up from here. Let's make use of this opportunity. These guys are a call away. If you need to ask them questions around some of these things, even after today, through me, you can get some of those answers. So since there are no questions, I would, on behalf of the church, this program is organized by our youth fellowship, Redeemed Christian Church of God, Parish City of Praise. So the guys that are here today have come to, show us love. So I would appreciate if on the chat box we can just say thank you to Mr. Saeed and Bosu for, coming through for us today. If you can unmute yourself, I'm sure. I just want some noise. You can unmute yourself. Please do. If you cannot unmute yourself, drop a chat on the box and let's tell them thank you. So if there are still questions, you can ask.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saeed and Mr. Bosun. Really appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, so I bet good day bus stop will come up for bus stop before they collect your phone run. Okay, so I have somebody on the call. He's a friend and a brother. Is is my blood. I will not say friend, so that doesn't it will not get angry this evening. He's one of the biggest product managers in Lagos, and I'm not missing words. If you go to LinkedIn, you search for. In fact, anyway, if you check Instagram, you type product chief. If you go to LinkedIn, you type product chief, you see this guy that is about to come up this evening. He's a product manager, a product designer. He's vastly experienced in the area of products. So please, if your hands are not busy, let's put our hands and say God bless you to Mr. Newton Odagwe. So please, sir, come up. You can do a better introduction. I don't know if that introduction is sufficient enough.
Yeah, it's actually sufficient. I'm having a bit of challenge for my device. I just came back not quite long. Right, so I'm trying to settle in. So apologies if you can't see my face, but I promise you'll be able to see my face before the end of this section. Thank you very much, Ferdinand, for the opportunity, and thanks everyone for having me here today, right? And I want to confirm if you all can hear me before I commence.
Yes,
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. One more apologies, I don't have a slide to show, but I promise you this section is going to be really, really engaging and eye-opening for a lot of us who will listen to this call, right? And at some point, I may also want it to be a bit engaging towards the end of this call. So as my brother mentioned, he was adding some, should I say some saucy? Yeah, so my name is Newton Odagwe. I am a seasoned product manager. I have close to a decade years of experience in product management. So just to cut it short, some of the applications that we use today, ranging from different bank applications that we use today, not to mention a particular bank, but most of the popular banks that you know today, and most of the popular apps that you know today, I contributed to the success of those projects. So before today's topic, or rather what we'll be discussing really today is about, navigating your way, or rather your path in the IT space, right? And then before I start, I want to give you a certain story, or basically my story on how I started this IT work as a whole, right? There's nobody, let's say 10 years back per se, there's nobody except those who are in the advanced space, right? That we really wake up one day and say, I want to study an IT, or probably only those who are in the computer science space. I want to study IT related course, and when I come out, I want to become a software engineer. So it wasn't so 10 years, 20 years back, it wasn't that very popular, right? And I want to also commend the last speaker. I listened to a part of the things he was saying towards the end. He really did a great justice to those items. But some of those items are things I also want to personally expatiate, right? So before I give you this journey, right, I want you all to have it at the back of your mind that whatever you do, right, as a person, it is important to know, and I agree with me, that success first, it doesn't come overnight, right? It happens as a result of accumulation of, different little efforts, no matter how small it is, daily efforts, the small things that you think that doesn't matter, those little things are the things that you put together, and then before you know it, it just accumulates, and then the success happens overnight. And people will say, because the guy is lucky, or because, he was lucky. But the truth is, most times luck actually comes to those who are prepared, right? So just to give you a bit of background, and then also as a way of introducing myself and tell you how I started this IT stuff. When I graduated from school and I went to service in Calabar, during that week, that very week I was supposed to come out from service, I saw a job advert. It was on WhatsApp, right? You know, those job adverts that flies in WhatsApp. And then I saw it. It was the very first application I ever did in my life. You know, courtesy, although I had some help from, you know, my senior relatives who knows how to construct a good CV. This is more like, you know, 8 years, 10 years back, right? So I just saw the whole thing circulating, and then I just threw my CV. I sent out a CV. A day to the day I'm supposed to pass out from service, I got an invite to come to one of the universities in Nigeria to do an interview, right? So I went for that interview. You know, we wrote the exam. There were a lot of people, and we wrote the exams. You know, they did some sort of you know, benchmarking and remove a certain person that didn't get up to some set of person that didn't get up to a particular mark, right? And then we did, after the written interview, we did the oral interview before that sent us an invite. And luckily for me, I was among the 8 persons that were selected within my region to join that business. And what we were doing really was, you know, so I just came out of service and I started working. What we're doing there was, we're basically doing more of a research work, a product research, as the name goes. So we're doing research, and then we're sending back to people at the head office. We're sending to different people who knows how to work around data, and they're using it to optimize and upgrade the product that they have in the market, right? So I was doing that job before I relocated to Lagos. The job was actually on a 6-month contract, and after 6 months, they do a renewal for all of us who scaled through. So I got to Lagos. I saw another advert. You know, I was willing to do more because it was more like a remote job. I saw an advert that people can come and do interview. Most of this normal advert that we see every day. It's a startup. So I joined the startup. I went for also the interview. It was more like a crash interview. I went there with my CV that same day. We did the interview. The following week, I got called to resume the job. So what I was also doing with them was more like an operation work, and then a part of research based on my previous experience. Please, guys, confirm that you can still hear me. I really need you to capture. There's something I want you to capture from this information I'm passing out, right?
Very well, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
All right. So I got invited. I was, at the end of it, just to cut it short, I was taken as part of the team to start our business. We were about 7. So just 7 persons within the business. I really wanted to do more. And then we're doing, the business became, you know, it was booming and all of that. From 7, the business grew up to, before I left, it grew up to 100 and something, 200 and something staff before I left the business for my master's. So I was doing it. One day, I woke up, I was just, you know, browsing stuff on the internet, and this is way back. That was about 6-7 years back. So I saw something on the LinkedIn. I saw a man who was talking about product management, right? He was saying a lot of things about product management. I went to view the man. The man is from the US, right? And then I was reading all of his posts around product management. He was saying a lot of things about product management. You know, it's not popular. People don't know about it, but you know, in some countries, nobody knows about product management and all of that. What I did, I just sent him a DM. He was a vice president, or either vice president on products, or the chief product officer of Netflix as at then, and the office were based in the US, right? So I sent him a message on LinkedIn. It was just a gamble. You know, I sent him a message, and luckily for me, he replied, and I told him to tell me more about product management. So he wrote some set of things, just gave me, summarized what product management was all about. And he invited me to some of his classes in the US. And funny enough, the time for those classes, the Nigerian time for those classes is 3 a.m. You know, we all know what 3 a.m. is in the Nigerian time. And every morning I usually go to office by 8. and I come back 5, just catch breath and all of that. So I was joining his class, live session, 3 a.m. every day of the week for 6 months. And I was still going to work. So when I come back, I try to come back very early, I have some sleep, and then I wake up 3 a.m., join his class. And that was how I did the whole cohort that he was training with people in Product School London. And at the end of 6 months, because it wasn't paid, right, I was just invited to join the class. So at the end of the day, I got a full grasp of what product management was all about during the whole 3 a.m. classes that I did for roughly 6 months, right? And then when he invited me to a ProductCon conference and sent me a link, he told me there was going to be a virtual ProductCon conference, right? And I joined the link. And Product School London was doing some sort of showcase, and so they were asking questions, people to give out contributions and things that are happening. So I told them that there are courses that personally I would love to do and people in my area would love to do, but the courses were way too expensive. And I made a reference to Product School London, who, I mean, the cost for that course as at then was roughly about $1,000. We all know what $1,000 is equivalent to Nigerian naira. That's about 1.5 million naira, right? Roughly. And someone from Brazil also made a comment. At the end of the day, we didn't know that the CEO of Product School was actually reading the sections. And at the end of the day, that was how we just got admitted into Product School London. I did my own virtually, and he did his own virtually. And that was how my story fully into product management started. And I became a full-time product manager. And ever since then, I've been building stuff. A lot of these banking applications that you do. I've been building GovTech technologies, retail core banking applications, loan applications for banks, applications for Microsoft, just to mention a few of them, right? So if you look at my journey into product management, right, I didn't wake up one day or maybe after school, I said, I want to become a product manager. And overnight, I became a product manager. No. And that's just for my own case. And a lot of other cases, I have a lot of friends in the IT world. The way they navigated into the IT space, one thing was common to each and every one of them. And even the people that have, mentored over time, right? Most of the students have mentored over time, right? There is one thing that is common to all of these stories. One of them is persistence, right? They really know what they wanted to achieve and they were going for it, right? So the IT space is a space that actually doesn't matter. It doesn't really want to, as it stands today, it doesn't really want to know the cost of what you studied in school. I forgot to mention, I actually studied plant science and biotechnology. That's my that's my BSc course, right? If I went into MBA and I started doing, all of those courses, right? The space doesn't really want to know. The CTO I work with today actually studied history, right? It has nothing to do with science, but today is the CTO of a very big business, right? But because of the work that he has, put into the system over time, and these are things that actually made him stand out, right? So the previous speaker was talking about that the IT space, is saturated. And I totally agree with him, right? I totally agree with him, but there are ways that you can stand out. A lot of ways actually that you can stand out. And I'll also give you typical stories. I have one of my students who currently work today with Kuda as a product manager. I have one at Microsoft NG. I have one at TrueSoft. I have one at MKOBO. Those are my students. I have one at Lightlook. A lot of them are different ways that they navigated into this space as a product manager and different people in the IT space. Now, one of the ways that you can navigate your way, if you really want to do an IT, the last speaker was saying that you need to agree within yourself that this is what I want to do, you can become a data scientist. And there's a pattern for it, right? You can become a data scientist, you can become a front-end engineer, maybe you can you can major on React or do Angular front-end. You can become a back-end engineer, maybe you can focus on .NET, or you can focus on Python, right? As a back-end engineer, or you can even become a cybersecurity person, right? So you can become a DevOps engineer. You can even become a QA engineer, right? A quality assurance engineer. There are a lot of pathways that you can, that you can use to navigate into this different part of the IT world, right? But the first thing is that you need to agree within yourself. Now, today, when people meet me and say, I heard there was a time the IT was booming and they said there's a lot of money in the IT. Everybody wants to go into IT, right? Everybody wants to really go into IT. But there are some questions you also need to ask yourself and you need to answer within yourself. Are you sure it's something that you really want to do? And is it something that you really, enjoy doing? There's a program manager today that I know. He started as a data analyst. He wanted to go into data analysis, and he did data analysis for a while. He studied, he knew some of the things, but the truth is, he said it wasn't giving him. He didn't like the track at the end of the day, and that was how the person transitioned into product manager. I also know a few persons who did some sort of coding, and they said, coding is not my thing. I want to go back. I want to go into product management, and they are doing well as at today. Right. So the first thing, you need to identify what you want to do. There are a lot of IT tracks that you can pick, right? I already mentioned a few of them, right? But they are way more than that, right? And even in the IT track, it must not necessarily be the technical part of it. You can become an IT project manager. You don't necessarily need to write code, right? There are people in the IT and their focus, what they do really is that they sell these IT stuff. This software that people build today, people sell it, right? That you log into a mobile app today and you receive OTP that comes to your phone to do transactions. There's a business, an IT business solution that is building a software for OTP and sending of emails as at today. And those are the stuff that they send to banks. Those are the stuff they send to different organizations that make use of this AP, that makes use of this OTP, right? So there are a lot of software solutions that you see out there today, right? That people sell to other businesses, right? So there's a lot of them that are out there. You may not even know them. Even the business I work today, the place I work today, is not actually a very popular business, because what we do really is that we major business to business kind of deals. It's not like a business to customer kind of propositions that we do, that a lot of business actually do, right? So like I was mentioning, the first thing that you need to do is to identify a part that you need to work on. So the second thing that will help you to navigate this space is you need to find a mentor, right? You need to find yourself a mentor. If you want to become a data analyst, there are a lot of good data analysts that are out there. Check out for them on LinkedIn, look at what they've done in the past, look at the position that they are. You can beg them, see, I'm doing into data, I want to go into data analysis, right? I see that it's something I feel I have passion or interest in. Can you give me a career path, or can you give me a career guide on the things I need to learn for me to become a data? And you can even ask them to become your mentor, even though majority of them will not decline, right? If you want to become a front-end engineer, you can also do that. Back-end engineer, it's a good thing that the previous speaker already mentioned some of these tasks, right? That you need to become, that you need to learn to become each of these. So you need to find a mentor. It is very, very important, because a mentor can guide you in so many ways. They can also share their own knowledge with you. They can share experience with you. They can share opportunities with you, which is very, very important. They can share opportunities with you within the space. Now, the third thing that you want to do is, again, you need to ask yourself that, is this something that you really want to do? So today, for example, you want to become a product manager, and Maybe, for example, I just give you the lay down of the things that you need to learn as a product manager. It's not something that you learn today and you will not learn again till after 6 months. You come back and pick it up. No, it doesn't work that way, because why I said so is that most of these things, if you leave them at the end of the day, they will leave you. Coding works out as of today. If you leave most of these things and at the end of the day, you leave it for a long time, it also leaves you. That is a normal way that human brains work. But when you keep looking into it, looking for ways to improve and all of that, you can see that a lot of things will start sticking, and a lot of things will start learning, and a lot of things will start sticking, and you begin to learn a lot of things in the space. Now, breaking into the IT space. So let's say, for example, you want to become a data analyst, and then you went to register for a data course, and they took you through all the journeys of becoming a data analyst, or becoming a front-end engineer or back-end engineer, and you did all the training, you got certificates and all of that. Again, the last speaker mentioned that the space is actually saturated, and I totally agree with him. Now, let me tell you how three of the people that I mentored broke into the business. There's a guy I know that works with Kuda as at today, a lady, sorry, I know that works with Kuda as at today. How did she break into the Kuda business? After her training, what she did was to do a product tear down for Kuda, right? He did a product tear down for Kuda and send out the things that he thinks that if Kuda improve in some of these spaces, right, the business will increase their revenue, right, by building some of these solutions to customers and some other things that will make customers more sticky and visiting their app. And then she sent it out to the head of product and the recruiting officer on their LinkedIn. And that was how they invited her to join Kuda for a 2-month internship. So she joined Kuda on 2 months internship and work on those aspects of the product. After 2 months, she was given a full-time offer to join Kuda as a junior product manager. So you can see that her pathway was clear, and she really needed what she wanted. She knew what she wanted, and then she targeted the business. Another very clear way that you can go into product management. I have someone who works with Max.ng today. This is a lady who has, paid her dues in product manager. So what she was doing, she joined a business in the US. She was in Nigeria. She joined a business as a volunteer person, product manager from Nigeria. And then, she was working as a product manager, as a volunteer, and she was building stuff with the engineers. How did she do it? She just reached out and said, I love what you guys are doing. I would like to be part of this project. I don't mind if I don't pay, but I just want to build my portfolio. So that was how the person joined that business, and they worked with them for roughly 6 months. And within the space of 6 months, when Max.ng was looking for product manager for junior role, like people who have little years of experience, less than 2 years of experience, and she applied for the job. And the only reason why she got the job, or rather the key reason why she got the job, was that she actually had experience, right? She had the stuff to show for. She has work that the business, she knows the business, she knows the solution. She has fixed a lot of bugs in those applications, through the help of the engineers. And she was she was able to break in easily. So one of the ways to also navigate and break in is through volunteer. And sure, this is one of the key ways that a lot of people are actually breaking into IT as of today, right? And you can target a lot of them. So for me now, if I'm a front-end engineer or a back-end engineer, all I just need to do is just go to LinkedIn, target all the CTOs I know, all the CTOs and engineering manager I know on LinkedIn, just start sending them connection. Send them connection, just carve out a very good message and say, okay, my name is so and so. I did so, I did training, I have experience in React, I have experience in Python and all of that. I would love to join your business as an intern. I don't mind the pay, but I would like to join and improve on my skills. There's no business that we see, or rather, there's a lot of, I know as in Nigerians and the way they do, a lot of businesses as of today when you send that kind of message, they know there's an intern that wants to join. They don't mind if they don't pay, if they don't get to pay, but they want to learn and sharpen their skills. Now, let me tell you one thing. For every job that you pick as a person, right, there are two things involved, right? And in short, you are trading one thing for another thing, right? So if you are not being paid for a job, the only reason why you should be in that job is because you want to learn, right? You want to learn and sharpen your skills. So for example, you want to become a backend engineer. If you go to the space, or rather where they teach, in real school where you need to learn all the stacks that you need to learn to become a full-time backend engineer as of today, you will not be, you see a lot of, charges will come out. Some will charge you 500,000, some will charge you 300 and something thousand naira. The minimum that you can get is 200 and something thousand naira, right? That you can get. Now remember that what you are learning from this team, they are basically teaching you these stacks to become a backend engineer, right? Or maybe a software developer, as the case may be, right? But what you are gaining for a business that is already in existence, you are not just coming there to learn, but you are also gaining experience, and then you are building your portfolio along the line. So you are it's more like you are giving away the money they are supposed to pay you by doing a free job and learning in the process. And for me, it's a very good way of breaking into IT space. This is one of the easiest way that anybody can actually break into the IT space. And this is what a lot of people are doing as of today. I know a friend business, when I got to their business just on a visitation, the number of people I saw that were like, who are these people? When they say these guys are intern, I was like, you have a lot of people in your, they know that they are just here to gain experience. Some of them sign the contract to leave after 6 months. And, the business is already in line to, the business is willing to take about 4 to 6 of them that are actually going to be, that are going to prove themselves within that 6 months to join the team, right? So these are people who are willing to learn, who knows what they want to do, and going to break it. Some of them are into UI UX, product designer, right? Some of them are product managers, some of them are front-end engineers, some of them are back-end engineers, right? And they are just basically coming to build a real-life project that they can use and say, this is my portfolio. I was part of people that worked on this project, and they can confidently go out there and tell people how they impacted on that project, how they built it from scratch. Even if they didn't build it from scratch, they can actually go out there and confidently talk about their quota and how they contributed to the success of that project. Even when so for example now, right, you get to an interview with a friend who has already built a project, and you who have not built a project, but you claim to build a project. When I bring you and that your friend into an interview to talk about that project, you will agree with me that the person that actually built that project will be talking about that project with a lot of confidence. And the things the person will say about that project, you can easily know that, this person was actually part of the team that built this project. He really know the core engineering processes and, standards life cycle of development. Unlike the other person that will just be, picking 1 or 2 things, probably based on the things that he or she have learned online, right? So for me, it's a very good way of breaking into IT space and a very good way of navigating into the IT space. And that's what a lot of persons are doing as of today. Now, the other part, which is not so common, it is not so common, but I know in the past it was common, but recently it is not so common because of the way most businesses perceive it. Now, you can actually be doing anything within an organization. So probably you are an operation person, you are a customer service person, or you can be anything within an organization, right? And there's a role for an IT person, maybe a junior role for an IT person, and you actually want to transition. So based on your personal learnings, you can also go to the head of the department and say, head of that particular department, maybe IT in this case, and say, I heard that you guys have a role for a junior product manager. I heard that you guys have a role for a junior front-end engineer, a junior back-end engineer, a data analyst. And you tell them, over the past years, while on this part of my job, I learned this, I learned that, and I would like to transition from my current role and join the department in the technology space. Now, if you look at that transition, it looks very easy because already you are within the system. You already know what the business does. And from the things that you have learned and from your knowledge that you've gathered within that field. So it's just like you preparing and waiting for the opportunity to come. So let's say I work with a business today and, as a customer service person, and then while working as a customer service person, I started taking courses on React, taking courses on React, then how HTML works, CSS, and basically all the front-end languages, right? And then there's a call and the business is looking for a junior front-end engineer. When I go to the head of department, right, for technology, and tell the person, I saw that our business is looking for a junior front-end engineer. This is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. This is what I've volunteered and I've built, right? Even though it's not live, but I've done a real life project. I would like to join your department as a junior front-end engineer. I don't think the head of department will disagree. I mean, if you're able to convince the person that you can actually fill in that role as a junior, because it's a junior role and you're coming there to learn, I don't think the person will disagree. So basically what you need to do, because I know how, I'm telling you based on experience and things I've seen and people I know that have also transitioned from one part of a business to another. The biggest work that you need to do is to speak with your manager. Your manager will still reason with you. Tell your manager that, I've been doing this for a while, and this is what I want to transition into. I want to transition to so department because they are calling for a junior role, and I believe I can fill in the role. If you can help me talk with the head of that particular department, it makes the life very easy for you. I've seen a lot of people don't do it in my previous businesses. I know a lot of people from the customer service team that have joined product management. I also seen people from the operations join the front-end engineering team, right? And the transition is easy. So what they need to do is basically they just, instead of looking for a junior front-end engineer, what they do is that they just change the call for application for a junior front-end engineer to probably, if you now left from customer service to a new customer service person. So they just need a new customer service person to come and replace you in the organization. And then there are a lot of people who have also transitioned using this method. So I've given you guys different methods that people are using to navigate into this space, right? These are different hacks that, people won't tell you, but I know it works a lot as of today. It works a lot. I'm sure that every day, when you wake up so let's say you are doing you became a data analyst, right? You did all the right courses and you know how to navigate. You can write SQL, you can do query, you can do data visualization, using whatever tool that you want to use, right? In a day, you go to LinkedIn and send different head of data, whatever thing they call them in different organizations, data manager and all of them. You send them messages, 10 persons in a day. If you do it for a month, I am confident that before the end of that month, you will get a positive feedback, right? Because I've seen a lot of people do it. In short, I even know someone who have done it, right? Some of them basically read the message, and after like 3-6 months, those who read the message, some of those CTOs who read the message, came back to the person and told the person that I saw your message that you sent me 6 months ago that you want to join our team as a junior staff. The reason I didn't respond to you then was because we didn't have a role for that. Currently, we have a role. Are you still interested? And the person just simply mentioned that I already got a job and I'm actually working at so place at so thing. I will not be able to join because I already picked up a job. And they greeted and that was the end of the day. So even if they don't respond to you, they've seen it. Even me as of today, if somebody reached out to me, for example, and say, your business, if you guys are looking for a junior role, I did this, I did that, and I've done that and all of that. Even if I don't reply, even if I don't respond, it will be in my mind. For any time a junior role comes in, all I just need to do is just go to my messages. There's a guy that reached out to me, and I told the guy I was going to reach out to him if we have a junior. I'll just ask him, we now have a junior role position. Are you still interested? Yeah, I already got a job. Oh, yes, I'm still interested. Okay, I'll schedule you for an interview with our HR manager. And that would be, and because I'm the one recommending, the HR person, we actually consider the person first before every other person. And that's how it works as of today. So most of this navigation, I tell people are say, I've applied for a job, they used to call for, I've seen I apply a job, 5 jobs in a day, I get 5 rejection, I apply 10 jobs in a day, I get 10. Yes, rejections are bound to happen. So rejections are coming, it also shows that you're trying, right? If you don't get someone who is actually looking for a job and you don't get 5 rejections in a day, or rather 5 rejections in a, if you don't do 5 applications in a day, that means you're not looking for a job. And if you don't get 5 rejections in a week, at least one every day from Monday to Friday, that means you are not really chasing the job. But if you are getting rejection Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, know that, it is clear that, and you are doing something and people are looking at your applications and at least they are rejecting, is also show that you are trying and you look for a way to improve it. So yes, while you're making a lot of applications day in, day out to apply and you don't get success messages, there are other hacks that you can actually use to penetrate the market. And I've just given you a few of them. A few of them that are very popular that I've just given you. Just do free work. Tell them that you're coming there to come and do free work. You don't mind the pay as an intern. They will take you, right? Reach out to the head of department, ask them for a particular role that if they have a role, they should call you. And you will, even if you don't like what they are doing, it's okay. Well, I've checked your business. You guys are doing so thing. I'm interested in joining your team. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. If you guys give me opportunity, I would like to join your team as a junior person, as an intern. I don't mind the pay. I don't mind the pay. I'm just coming there to learn and gain experience. People will look at you, and the first thing, even if I see that message, the first thing that will come to my head is that this person is actually someone who is willing to learn. And you'll agree with me, because you coming to an event to tell me that you want to join my business and you don't mind the pay, you just want to gain experience and learn. The first thing that will come to my mind that, you guys actually coming to learn, right? You really do not mind if I pay, even if I don't pay, it does not mind. It's just coming to my business to come and learn. And even me as a CEO or whatever thing I will be, I'm like, since this person is willing to learn, let me just observe these guys for a month. And if they give you that opportunity, and that will be an opportunity for you to shine, because it's like you just gave yourself a lifeline to get a full-time job in the business. A lifeline to, ordinarily when you send an application that you want to join them, or you send an application, they will look at it, we have a better candidate than this guy, let us reject this guy. Or you send the GMs, you want to learn, you want to join them without pay. They will be like, this guy really wants to learn. At some point of the day, and again, I keep telling people, right? There's no job there's no job as of today that is not teachable, right? There's no job as of today that is not teachable. And there's no role that is not replaceable. Well, why it might actually be difficult to replace some role, right? But there's no role as of today that is that's actually replaceable. So if you join a business, right, at some point, there are some people who are really good in their business, in what they do, and there are a few other persons who are not so good, but they are potentials, right? But another thing that also keep them in that business is their attitude, right? So when even a lot of us also hear things around, business are retrenching, the IT space are retrenching, they are sacking staffs and all of that, So even that sacking or retrenchment of a staff also happens because of attitude in jobs, right? So for example, I have Mr. John and I have Mr. Peter who work within my team as a software engineering team. And there are issues that come on the platform. Peter will just look at it. This is a minor issue. Let me quickly fix it before morning. And Peter fixes it. But John will look at it. Even in the morning, John will see the issue. John will not fix it. John will be waiting probably for the manager to say, John, go and fix this thing. Or John, I assign you the task, go and do it. But Peter will take initiative, right? By every time John will. So when a time for retrenchment from my team comes in and say, we need to remove someone from your team because the business cannot bear the cost again, and we just want to, or even if the business can bear the cost, but we just want to streamline the team. So within your team with one person to drop off, kindly recommend one person. You and I will agree that I'm not going to call out John. I'm going to call Peter. And I will just submit name. Peter, I will just call Peter. Peter, look at what the business has decided. They want to let you go because they want to streamline the team. And the reason why I'm keeping John is because of the attitude, right? So in this space, as of today, there's a lot of things that are happening, right? When you apply for a job, when you apply for, different kind of work, you get rejections, you get different kind of rejection. But at some point also, the truth is that in the IT space, most times it gets easier at the top, right? Because when people are saying what you've done on a daily basis, right? On a daily and weekly basis, I know the number of HR that reaches out to me and asks me if I would like to join their business, right? And that's simply because, most of them already knew me. Some of them already know what I've done. They've seen the solutions I've built, right? Some of them also have a hang on my portfolio and see what I do, right? And they would love me to join. Even as of today, right? I mean, this is not me bragging, but I got a call from UK to join a particular business that has a business in France, right? And then they have a branch here in Ikoyi, right? So it's basically how, how you navigate and how you do your things within the space. I know there is this, I'm not saying Gen Zs are bad, but there is also this entitlement that comes with these new generations that comes into this IT. I'm coming to this IT. As I come into this IT, one day, week one, I start earning 50,000. Week two, I start earning 100,000. Week three, I start earning 400,000. It doesn't work that way. People pay their dues. The CTOs that you see today, the CTOs, the CIO you see today, the CPIO that you see today, even in the financial sectors, people who are even at the top, at some point, they wear like every other interns that as of today. They pay their dues. And even in the payment in the IT space, it is not like, in most cases, it is not like the regular trajectory that we get in every other space. So this month, probably you might start as an intern and you will earn, don't be surprised, you may even earn 50,000 naira for 2 years. And within that 2 years, your next salary may actually be 500,000 or 50,000. That's basically what IT can do for you, right? You might even be earning 50,000. The next month, you start earning 300,000. You might even be stuck in that 300,000 naira for 3 years. And from 300,000 naira, you start earning 1.2 million. That's basically the IT for you, right? So it's not like most of other regular jobs that you see today and all of that. So today, 50,000 is okay. We're adding 50,000 naira to your salary. I start earning 100. And after 6 months, we're adding 50,000 naira for your salary. Start earning. So IT most times can move in that trajectory. Even me, at some point, I was stuck in a particular salary, but I don't mind because I knew that at that point, I was building my portfolio. Like I can really come out and literally talk about anything. Is it health tech? I can talk about tech, gov tech, fintech, whatever tech, health tech. I've built a health tech structure. I've been in HR tech. So whatever solutions that you want to talk about, right? Because I know what I was gathering and the portfolio I needed to gather. I just talked there, even though the pay was not so good, but I just needed to build stuff, right? I can talk about, and most of these solutions, a lot of businesses are even using this today. Do you understand? So please confirm you can still hear me too. Let me be sure that I haven't been talking to myself in a while.
Can hear you.
We can hear you very well.
All right, thank you very much. So yes, as I was saying about,
We can hear you, sir.
Thank you. So as I was talking about, the space, I know there's a lot of, when you are coming in, there's a lot of expectations, and people, based on the things that you see online, there's a lot of pressure and all of that. As I'm coming to IT space, I will just do this job for 2 years. Before you know it, I'll start earning millions. It doesn't work that way. In short, I've been in a business. There's a guy that joined us as a junior staff. The guy worked with us for just 2 years. Yes, he worked with us for 2 years, 1 year and 8 months actually, right? He was going to the 9th month. A business in the US scouted him and he left us. So the guy was earning about 270,000 naira And from 270,000 naira, the guy started earning close to 5 million naira per month. About 4.something million naira per month. Right? So yes, there's a luck part of it, but there's one thing that is certain: you need to pay your dues. You must pay it in the beginning part of the business. You can't just wake up one day and start any day. So even though there is a wide, there's this wide range of difference between him and myself, right? Because in the space, I'm already 4 years older than him in the space, right? I'm even more experienced than him. But you could see that it just took him 2 years. Within 2 years of being into the IT, he was already earning millions. Money that I've not even seen within my 4 years space, 4 years time within the business. I've not even seen close to half of what he was earning in his third year, right? So first thing first, if you are willing or if you are not in the IT space, you need to have it at the back of your mind that, I need to learn, right? Yes, money is part of it. And in short, money is the end goal, right? But you and I need to know that whatever thing that you need to do, right? Anything they say that what doing is actually what doing well. You need to learn. You need to build a portfolio for yourself, right? You need to pay your dues. Even if they pay you, it's okay. Nigeria is hard. A lot of business itself will not even want to, even if they want to pay you, they will not even want to pay you that much, because every business will have it at the back of their mind that they are coming in to come and train you. So that's why you see some of these junior staff, some of these IT guys, some of these interns, they don't really pay them well, because the businesses feel that they are training you in the process and they are spending resources in training you. But again, a lot of people in the recent generation will always want to, I'm coming to the business, I can't take a job that's less than 100,000. And they will say it without it's so much boldness, and they will tell you and say openly, any business that's paying less than 100,000, I cannot take it to. After this, my years in school. Any business that's paying less than 200,000, I cannot take it to. After my years in school. But at the end of the day, if you ask them, really, what do they know? I mean, well, I wouldn't say they don't know anything. Maybe in their field they know, but when it comes to the IT space, you find out that the majority of them don't even know shit, right? So you need to have it at the back of your mind. If I'm coming into the IT space, I need to learn. I need to learn. And again, just also add to that, when I was really transitioning, right, I met an Indian and one other guy from Port Harcourt. I met them. And even during COVID-19, right, we also building stuff, weather prediction app and food and item delivery app. We built it for a UK business, and everything we did within that business, it was free of charge. We didn't charge them because, during that COVID era, there was a lot of businesses ran into difficulty. A lot of people are just managing. So we just saw it as what we can, our own portal, right, to the society to help people deliver, stay at the comfort of their home, order whatever thing they need to order, and then the government can also help in form of delivery and all of that. So those were what we did during that COVID-19 for a business in UK, and I think they also did that launch in. We did it in UK, and then there's some other guys who took the project and translated it to Spanish, and then they launched it in Spain also. So those are some of the Jews I was even talking about. It's ordinarily, if you tell someone or if you consult a business to do that kind of application for you, I know the number of millions that are going to come for you, right? To be able to even achieve that. Or we're able to do that out of, me, for my own side of things, right? To be sincere, I didn't really do it because I want to give out my own quota to the society. I actually did it because I want to see how the application will work and how it is done. And I actually did it because I really wanted to get inside on what Jumia do and how Jumia do this checkout and all of those things as of today. And I did it out of curiosity because I want to learn. I didn't do it. For the other guy from Port Harcourt and maybe the Indians guy, they did it out of, what we want to contribute to the society to make the world a better place and all of that. But I'm just telling you for facts. The only reason I joined that project, I was going to do it and I did it to the end was because of curiosity. I want to build it. I want to have it on my portfolio. I want to build it. Let me see how it works. Let me see how junior do these things and how they make their money, right? So there are different things that can drive you to do some of those things. Right? Ordinarily, someone as of today, if you invite them to come and do a project and come and learn, somebody will tell you, how do you expect to build a project that want millions for you and you not fail me? I'm not going to do that. We'll see it every day. We'll see some of these things every day. And some other people, they call it entitlement, or you call it, you just want to earn money and you don't have anything to offer, right? So a lot of things happens in the space, right? There's a lot of things that happen in the space. If you keep applying, jobs are every day. Jobs are coming. So within the past 2 years, what is 2 years? Within the past 1 year, the first DevOps engineer we recruited, he got scouted in France, and he left our business. We took the second person. In the space of 6 months, the person got scouted, and he left for Estonia. Now this is the third person, and the person is already threatening to leave, right? So people are scouting from outside the country. People are scouting from everywhere. When they know that you know what you build and you have things to deliver, people are coming for you. Right? I just gave you an example. I did an interview while I'm in the office today. In short, I almost did the interview in front of my boss, right? So people are coming. They know that you have things to offer, and they see. If you build a project, there's some legacy project that you build as of today. I want to give you an example. There's a project that's banks use as of today, right? A lot of banks use this project as of today. Before they launch it, most of you, if anybody of you in the banking sector, you understand what I'm saying, they call it TM24, right? Before you get TM24, you need to go to Australia to get a license. And for you to pay for that application, paying nothing less than 4 billion naira. And that is the application that the whole banks use as of today to process, to do all core banking applications. And it's a project that's ongoing. And I'm glad that I'm part of that project, right? That is expected to replace this application. It's a multi-billion naira project. I am not building this application because they are paying me so much. No, they are not. And I'm being honest with you. I am building it because I want to be part of the legacy team that built that project for Africa as a whole, right? And, I know immediately after the project, a lot of people will start scouting and say, because you guys built this project, I want you to remain in the project, I want you to join us and all of. I know all of this things are going to come up sooner or later, right? But the reason I'm building it, because I want to be part of that legacy project. Even after 10 years, I'll ask which software does this bank use? I say this bank. I'll tell you that this application was built by me. Do you want me to show you the architecture? Do you want me to tell you how it works? I can gladly tell you every functionality of that project. It's very complex, but I can tell you that the whole functionality is at the back of my head and how it works. So there are a lot of things that drive people to do the things that they do, right? So first and first, even when I joined the project, at some point, I was like, is it really what we want to do? But at some point, it became a lifestyle, right? It's not only in the technical side, right? If you want to become in the financial aspect of it, you want to become an accountant in the IT space, there are some certain steps that you need to take. If you want to become a salesperson, people who sell. In short, a lot of people don't even talk about this more. People who are in sales team, people who sell, those sales team in the software industry, they make a lot of money. But people won't sell, but talk about it. Those who sell those solutions of business, they make a lot of money, up to millions, right? Even way more than people who actually build the applications. But people don't talk about it a lot. But I'm telling you for a fact that those guys make a lot of money. So those are some of the things that I think, a lot of us need to put into place if you really want to navigate successfully into the IT space. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication. I told you about myself as a case study. I woke up 3 a.m. every day for 6 months because I want to become a product manager. I don't think it's something ordinarily. I don't think it's something I'll be able to do. If you ask me to do that today, I don't think I'll be able to do that, right? If you wake up 6 a.m. for a 1 hour, 30 minutes or 30 minutes, 1 hour class every day, and then the next one you should start going to the office, right? You should know the extent of dedication that, or rather you are working for a business for 3 months, 6 months, or because you want to gain portfolio, you're working remotely from home, and then every day you join them call, you help them to build solutions and all of that because you're building a solution. You should know the amount of sacrifice that you put in place. Even if they are paying you 100,000 naira in a month, for 6 months, you and I know that you already made $500,000, more than $500,000. And that's a very good amount of money. But you just want to give it away because you want to learn, right? So these are some of the things that you need to put into consideration as someone who wants to break into the IT business and really want to navigate in the space successfully. So I think the time is almost few minutes to 10. I think it's important that a lot of us will be willing to ask questions. So I think we'll just open the floor for questions and answers from the entire team. All right. Please, I don't know if you can still hear me. If you can.
Yeah, we can hear you. Sir. Thank
you very much. Thank you very much.
So,
So,
let's roll in the questions, guys. Let's roll in the questions.
I already know that. I hope I was not so boring. I didn't have my slides ready, but I try as much as possible to make it really engaging. I want to believe that a lot of us also follow. So yes, if you have questions, I think you can take it now. Any questions from anybody?
If you have any questions, you can just unmute yourself and talk.
Okay, I think there are no questions. Or have we all slept?
Well, very active. Very active.
Oh, you are very active. Okay.
It means the delivery was on point, and that's why
Very, very on point. Okay, very on point. Just on point. Thank you very much. We're gallant.
It's like the virtual drive. Our part.
Also, your network is breaking. Can you start again?
It's like a virtual drive and how to navigate and move our parts in the IT space. So it's been very interesting. From my end, I don't think I have any questions because I understand everything.
Right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Bosu. Any other question from anybody?
Boss said that you have unmuted yourself. You can go on.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Very well. Not because I got home later and I had to start taking care of my mom. It's very, very insightful actually, but because I'm not too knowledgeable about IT, but I think I really want to know how to navigate into that. Because I remember when I was in secondary school, my physics teacher in the 80s days about because I didn't really understand what it was. I was among the few that passed physics, but because I didn't really like calculation, the man forced me to stay. He mentioned computer because I didn't understand. I just left. I said I want to art, I want to become something. I should understand, but I don't know how to now navigate into that. But I think it's very, very interesting. Sweet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
And into it. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Nathan. It was an insightful section, and I'm sure that we have drawn one or two lessons from what he has shared with us this evening. I like the fact that it wasn't very technical. I didn't go into the technicality of product management, because that would have just been, a waste of time, really.
Yeah.
Because I always said it is important to this is a preparatory class for what you want to do actually. So I want to prepare you and prepare your mind so that when you start the training, the courses, you would have something to fall back to and say, okay, yes, I actually prepared well. So I like what you did, Newton. Thank you so much. We are really thankful for your time. We know that you guys are very busy, but even in spite of all of that, you still were here for us today. We're really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you
Saeed
very much.
and Bosu is still on the call. We really appreciate you guys. I'll do well. Thanks. Thanks. So if there are no questions, I think we'll end the session here. But before we go out, I would inform us that next week we're going to be dealing with, I think the program is for 8 weeks and today is the 4th week. So next week we'll tackle data science. So I have a friend who is one of the biggest data scientists in Nigeria. If you want to know him, if you want to learn from his experience too, I'm sure this is where you want to be next Thursday. So I say thank you for your attendance, your time also. You know, I've always stressed that this is just strictly a program that is freely organized for the church. And it is good when I mentioned earlier that I don't like free programs because some people will take it for levity, some people will not take it serious. You know, but some of these guys that are bringing on the call are people that naturally, when they go out for events like this, the charge is not what you are even going to be able to meet up with. You know, but they have actually made that time to come. So I feel that it would be a disservice for us not to utilize some of these lessons to our own advantage. Some of us in the IT space did not have the opportunity to, you know, go through sessions like this. And I keep saying that, you know, the new generation are you guys are always, you know, very lucky when it comes to information. Some of us had to do a lot of soul searching before we got here. Saeed, your hand is raised.
The question the lady had asked, Sister Bosede, probably Newton can answer about when she was in physics class and how a teacher had forced her to for math and also do computer, something like that. But she's from what she's doing right now into the IT space based on the ability she had.
Just from here, I cannot hear him.
Yeah,
Did you
I
get
think
my question?
It was breaking.
Okay. So, okay, I was saying that Sister Bosede had asked a question earlier when she was in school and she had actually studied physics. And teacher was talking about how she can get to know about computer, but she said she didn't know how she could navigate. But however, how can she do the transitioning right now based on the presentation that she has listened to tonight?
Okay. All right.
So I was saying if Newton can answer some of those questions, perhaps I could also talk, or Mustafa could also talk as well to that.
All right. Okay. So let me just touch on that part a bit, right? So if I get the question correctly, how she can navigate into IT space, right? In summary, that is what the question is. Am I right, Saeed?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So like I mentioned before, right? Today in the IT space, right? A lot of people who came from different backgrounds, from mass communication, I just told you that my CTO I have, they actually studied history. And anytime I say it, a lot of people are like, wow, what does history have to do with IT? You know? So there are a lot of people who come from different background and different space that are in the IT space today. So I think the first thing I want to advise her for her to break into, or rather get into IT, is that she actually needs to see all the parts in the IT, understand very high level of what each of these parts stand for, and then she can probably pick up, the one that interests her more. I know a lady who used to be a fashion designer, and the person became a product designer because she loves how to tweak colors and how to manipulate colors using and design software solutions and all of that. So when she saw that as a tech, I saw that as a track in the IT. There were no much, much convention for her, or rather to tell her, this is the right call for you. And today she's actually doing well as a product designer. So I think it's important for her to understand the high level of all they really do and what they contribute in the entire IT space. And then she can then now make a choice. And so, okay, I think this is one, or what these people set of persons do are the things that interest me more. I would like to go into this particular track. I think that would be a good start. And then in terms of learning, there's nothing today that you want to learn that is not on YouTube. I think it's important that you emphasize that. The only thing is that most times the YouTube learning are not structured, So you just have to find a way to put them together and all of that. But apart from that, even for ladies, it's even more easier for ladies because there are a lot of training houses who gives out training to ladies on a free, allow ladies to train without paying a dime, right? Or even paying at a very minimal rate. I know of her tech trade, right? A tech trade for ladies who wants to go into IT, right? You can pay even as low as 5,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken, or 10,000 naira for beginners and 10,000 naira for medium level. And they will train you for a period of 3 months, right? So, and it's strictly for ladies, right? Because they are not really being taking the money because they want you to pay, right? They just want you to drop in a commitment fee so that you'll be able to learn to the ending, and they only admit ladies, right? So when you identify the things that you want to do, you can take up any of this track using a tech tree. And there's a lot of them that also offer scholarship, even though most of them are interns like ALS, HNG, and the likes of them. So I think that would be a very good place to start. So maybe Said, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Nice one. Thank you.
All right, thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
Time has been fast spent. So what I can actually say to that in summary is irrespective of your age, some people are starting coding classes at the age of 40, some 45. So age is not a barrier. So you can also start coding at the age of 15, 20. So you have so many things, as long as, like Newton has said earlier on, as long as you have mentors around, people that you know that have specialization in some of those skills you are interested in. So you could actually beckon upon them. So then, but you need to also understand the fundamentals. So from the fundamentals, you can now begin to transition into the entry level, then junior, intermediate, then advanced. So Rome was not built in a day, but all the cues to this.
Thank you, Bosun. Thank you. Okay. Beginner. I hope it doesn't involve the calculations. I don't know if Said wants to also react to this, but
Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the essence of this program is just to answer this question she actually asked. The essence of what we're doing is to introduce them to the various fields in IT. And so that you look at what those people, in those fields do, and now decide to say, okay, this is the area I feel I'm more inclined with. So if you follow through this program until the end, you would be able to stand up and say, okay, yes, I would follow this particular line. So on the chat box, you would find out Newton is typing a few of the training programs that you can take, and even mostly for the women too, the ones that are free for women. even for the guys, there are the ALS scholarship program. I was a beneficiary at some point too. It was even through Newton I got to know of ALS, and I did one of my courses on that platform. Very rigorous, but the lessons are very germane and helpful. So we'll take it up from here. If there are more questions, I'll address them on the platform. The ones I cannot answer would relate to it, the subject experts, and get back to us. So on this note, I will say thank you, and thank you, and